AskReddit by Heinrich. What ingredient ruins a sandwich for you? Warm wet lettuce on hot sandwiches. I got an airport quesadilla once. It came with lettuce inside, nightmarish. Mealy tomatoes. Thanks for putting words to the sensation. A piece of lettuce that's a little too brown. Or the lettuce piece that's a bit slimy. Sends me right to Gagsville. Soggy, not fresh tomato. Looking at you, Subway. I used to think I hated tomato. Turns out I just hate shitty tomato. Soft, cheap bread that gets soggy with the slightest bit of moisture. This is the one thing that will make me reject a sandwich with revulsion. A food critic explained it well to me. The bread is the part that you have the most interaction with, so it has to be good. Huge pieces of meat that when I bite, instead of cutting and eating a piece, I eat the whole thing and the rest of the sandwich is left meatless. But not before said meat slips out and slaps you on the shin, leaving an unnaturally large mayo mustard mark, making you appear that you have no idea how to consume a sandwich. If the condiments is not spread right to the edges and in the corners of the bread. If there are big globs of unspread mayo, it's an immediate no from me. Standing with both feet in the lettuce buns with shoes on. Number 15. These are the questions I want to see on AskReddit. Seriously. Females of Reddit, what's the femalest female you've femaled? Nah. These are the real deal. Soggy bread. I'd rather starve. Putting a big beef tomato slice on to just watch your sandwich turn soggy and collapse. Sand. Yeah, gravel is the way to go. Larger chunks. Hair. One night my daughter prayed before bed, please God don't let the cookies be hairy or gross. I've never made hairy cookies in my life. Goofy kid. But hair will definitely ruin a sandwich, or any food for that matter. Raisins. Old people always trying to sneak raisins into everything, but I've never heard of it in a sandwich. Sounds fucking awful. Unless making a grilled cheese, I can't handle the crappy white bread that mushes to the roof of your mouth, nasty and can't hold anything together. Grilled cheese is the exception. BC, the toast ones hold everything together and eliminated the mush. I pre-toast my garbage bread, then spread a condiment on it. It makes the whole sandwich a lot better than untoasted white bread. Lack of sauce. Dry sandwiches are the worst. A key component to a technical sandwich is known as the moistening agent. Very thick tomatoes. Homegrown tomatoes are so good, so much flavor, I can eat them like an apple, lol. Grocery store ones just taste like water, tap water, lol. Sweet pickles. Dill or nothing. On a side note, YTF is sweet relish always the only option for hot dogs and brats? Dill pickles is standard for burgers, why isn't dill relish standard for dogs and brats? Celery. Only heathens add celery to sandwiches. I don't know anyone on the planet who puts celery on a sandwich. Lots of us eat it on the side though. Miracle Whip. For years I thought I hated mayonnaise. Turns out I just hate Miracle Whip. Too much tomato makes it unbearable for me, especially when it gets wet and eventually soggy. Deleted. Totally agree. I need a good ratio of all ingredients, not just a flappy pile of loose meat. Too much mayo. I don't like mayo at all, and it seems like people put it on everything these days. American cheese. It's fine on burgers, but for a typical sandwich, no. Get that shit out of there and give me some real fucking cheese. Edit. I didn't expect to get so many responses, wowie. Good American cheese exists, but Kraft ain't it. Mold. There's nothing worse than not realizing there's a mold spot in the bread before it's too late. I swear one time I cured a stomach bug with this mistake. Nice try Subway, you've done us wrong for too long and we are not taking you back. Sweet pickles. Miracle Whip. That shit doesn't belong on a sandwich. It's mayo flavored frosting. I grew up in a Miracle Whip and country crock household. I was so confused when my babysitter would make me things with mayonnaise or eel butter that somehow tasted so much better. Raw onions. I'm almost 45 and feel like I should be past not liking them at this point, but here we are. My grandmother regularly ate a sandwich that consisted of mayo, salt, pepper and a half-inch thick slice of onion lol. Tomatoes. It's not a flavor thing, it's a structural integrity thing. Tomatoes plus any other ingredient, especially condiments, creates any tectonic slide of instability that more often results in a pile of ingredients on the table underneath the 2 slices of bread in your hands. You can somewhat mitigate it by slicing the tomatoes no thicker than 2 microns, but by that time, what the point? What do they really bring to the table, besides ingredients as they fall out? And before the foodies chime in with it's about brightness and acidity of anti-alcine salt fat acidity it's a good yes, I know. There's other ways to bring a brighter flavor, because most of the year, tomatoes that you didn't grow yourself taste like dog ass anyway. People don't consider the construction of sandwiches as much as I think they ought to, even with food served at restaurants. That tomato slide, or often the mayo slide, is a death knell for a sandwich. When I worked at Panera, they sent us to a sandwich making seminar and taught us all the little things they wanted us to consider when making their sandwiches, such as what flavors hit the tongue vs top of mouth and the physical construction, etc. OFC, these values were all commanded down from on high, but they wanted us to understand the motivation. I wonder if they send new employees to stuff like that anymore. Might explain a lot about my local Panera if they don't.